Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're talking about the 2025 Ram 1500 because we have some big updates, and I know that some of these are going to be pretty controversial for those of you that are Ram people and also for those of you that are just truck people. Before we get into this video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So we are going to start things off by talking about the Ram Charger. This is Ram's new plug-in hybrid truck, but it's not a normal plug-in hybrid. So how most plug-in hybrids work is they'll have a not massive battery pack, but a larger battery pack. So think like 10 kilowatt hour to maybe 20 kilowatt hour. And they'll have that paired with a regular internal combustion engine, and both the electric motors associated with that battery pack and the internal combustion engine will move the wheels. So it'll be two different powertrains, but both those powertrains are working in conjunction to move the wheels. That is not what this Ram Charger is going to do. The Ram Charger instead is going to be a plug-in hybrid that only moves the wheels with electric power. The engine is just supposed to extend the range of the truck, which it's a pretty fascinating setup. So 70.8 kilowatt hour battery pack, and just with the electric side of things alone, without any sorts of assistance from the engine, it's supposed to be able to go 145 miles on a single charge, which for a 70.8 kilowatt hour battery pack is kind of wimpy, but it kind of makes sense that it's not going to be super far because you've got a big pickup truck to move around and you have a lot of weight to move around in the form of an engine. Now the engine that the Ram Charger will use is the Pentastar V6, and how this will work is you will have a traditional fuel tank that is paired to the V6, but again, instead of the V6 moving the wheels, it's instead going to be powering the battery. And you can basically do this system where, you know, the battery can charge stuff, but then also you can have the engine charge stuff. Like it's all over the place, back and forth with this system, and they do it that way so that you can get a lot of utility out of the truck, like you can power your house, for example. But the figures that you probably want to hear is, well, towing and overall range. Overall range, 690 miles, 14,000 pounds of max towing, and 2,600 pounds of max payload. So this has more fuel range than what you get with a standard Ram with a Hemi V8. It has a higher towing capacity and it has a higher payload capacity. So on paper, it should be a better truck, but it is a very, very complex system. It'll be interesting to see how the truck actually drives because it's going to have independent rear suspension, just like the new Ram fully electric pickup truck. And so, yeah, once I am able to review one of those, then I'll kind of talk more about that. But the next big thing is the new Ram TRX, except it's not the TRX anymore, it's the RHO. And what Ram is doing is they are killing the TRX. They're getting rid of the nameplate, right? It's going extinct, which is kind of funny because the TRX has a graphic under the hood where it's eating the Raptor, but in reality, the Raptor, well, it outlived the TRX. That's all I'm going to say there. So the RHO, I'm guessing this stands for Ram High Output. Some people think Rebel High Output, but I think Ram High Output makes sense. It's got the new high outputs Hurricane Inline 6 under the hood, and it's basically just going to be the regular TRX suspension, body, all that kind of stuff. Some stuff is retuned, but with a 3-liter inline 6 instead of having the supercharged 6.2-liter V8. Now, power outputs are strong, 540 horsepower, which, you know, obviously isn't 702 horsepower like what the TRX has, but it's still a decent amount of power. And again, like everything else is pretty much going to be the same. It will get an interior update, just like the regular Ram 1500 is going to be getting for the 2025 model year, but we don't have a whole lot of information with that. Now, the next thing is for the regular Ram 1500, it is no longer going to be available with a Hemi. So Ram truly is killing the V8. Like 2025, there are no V8s. There's no TRX V8, right? And there's no 5.7-liter Hemi V8. It's gone. The Hurricane Inline 6 has officially replaced everything. Now there's going to be a standard output version and a high output version. The high output version, right, is the one that's going to be in the RHO, and you can also get it in other Ram 1500s. The standard output version is going to have more power than the Hemi, but obviously not as much as the high output. It's going to be, you know, low 400s for the horsepower and then high 400s for the torque, similar to what you have in the Jeep Wagoneer. And something that is interesting is Ram basically states that the reason why the high output version, by the way, has more horsepower than the Jeep Grand Wagoneer is because the engine speeds are higher. So I think that's kind of interesting. But like I said earlier, there are some interior updates coming. So basically, you know, they're updating this touchscreen a little bit. You still have the digital gauge cluster, but for the most part, like, the interior is not going to look too different from what you had, you know, initially from the 2019 model year, just a little bit more modern overall. And this comes at what will most likely be a price increase. We obviously don't have pricing yet, but I doubt that this is going to be any less expensive than the current Ram. Outside of the RHO, which Ram says is going to be less expensive than the outgoing TRX, which makes sense because it has a less desirable powertrain under the hood. And so we'll toss the phone away because we don't need that anymore information-wise. And so this leads me into talking about what this means for Ram moving forward. So Ram, just like Toyota moving forward, will be a truck brand that does not offer a V8 in their half-ton pickup truck as an option whatsoever. Now, Toyota's been able to make it work so far, but I don't know how Ram will fare because their biggest competition, Ford and Chevy, still offer V8s. And not only that, but Chevy still offers a diesel in their 1500. You've got the Duramax, then you have the 5.3 V8 and the 6.2 V8. Ford obviously sells a lot of the EcoBoost trucks, but they still offer a 5.0 V8 for people that want a traditional V8. And so Ram going all in on this electric plug-in hybrid stuff and the Hurricane powertrain, we'll see what happens. I know that some people are going to jump in because they'll be excited about the new powerful powertrain, you know, the new tech and everything. You'll get that demographic. But, you know, the core demographic that Ram sells to, the people that use their trucks for truck stuff that, you know, like to keep the trucks for longer, are they going to buy into this new turbocharged engine and this new hybrid setup? You know, time will tell, but I think that what's going to end up happening is Ram's probably going to sell quite a few of the standard output 1500s, you know, standard output Hurricane. They'll sell some high outputs. I think that this new crazy hybrid system, there's going to be some people that get it, but I honestly don't think it's going to be all that popular. I think that it's more of like, hey, we created the technology, it's there. But in terms of the take rate, I bet it's going to be extremely low, just like the take rate for the, you know, fully electric Ram 1500 will be extremely low because truck people have decided they don't like fully electric vehicles. They just can't do what truck people need them to do. And so the hybrid, right, it kind of bridges the gap, but also that's just so complicated. Truck people like simple powertrains. That's why trucks still have V8s with the competition, because that's a more simplistic powertrain. So this crazy hybrid with an engine, the power stuff and everything, it's a lot going on. Let me know what you guys think about this new setup with the Ram 1500. Let me know if you're excited, and let me know if you are no longer a Ram customer because of this, if you are going to Ford or Chevy because Ram doesn't offer you know, what you want from a powertrain perspective anymore. I'll see you.